Welcome back, Zip It Up fam. Well, another week we get to talk racing. I'm excited. But before we start talking our racing, let me apologize to the viewers that are watching the playback on YouTube. You can see a glare right here on my face, and that's not going to go away. I am recording at we'll blame it on daylight savings. Yeah, usually the sun is just about down by now, but right now it is burning through the window, so I'm gonna have to do something about that going forward. I'll work on getting some drapes put up, and we'll black that out in the future. But for those of you listening, you don't have to deal with the glare. Just me. It's in my right eye, so it's hard to read my notes tonight. But the chain looks nice. So, anywho, let's talk about the last week, just real briefly. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but since our last episode, I did have graduation. So ceremony was last week, and we've had a week full of celebrating ever since then. So it has been a full weekend of just hanging out and letting loose a little bit. We are still, and daylight savings also didn't help. So we are still recuperating a little bit and trying to catch back up, but we're back to reality. We're back to normal, back to work. So that's how it goes. We keep the show moving. All right. So let's go ahead and do our toast for tonight. And I apologize. It's not a great toast, but whatever you got near you, go ahead and pick it up and get ready to swig with me. But this week's toast, look, I'm a sports junkie. So that takes up a lot of my chatter. And so this past weekend, I live out here in Central Florida. This past weekend was the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I was fortunate to go out and spend Sunday afternoon out there, and then this coming week is the Players Championship. Starts tomorrow, so the time that you are listening to this episode, the Players will be happening. And I mean, those are my two favorite events outside of the Masters, obviously. But I've attended both the API and the Players, and so those are my two favorite events that I've attended. Golf tournaments. So this is a big time for golf right now. It's the Florida Swing. They're hitting all the Florida courses, en route to Augusta, which is next month. So just the whole leading up to the Masters, I love it. After the Masters, I mean, golf season's kind of dead, and it happens so early in the spring. So right now, feels like golf is at its peak. And I know that this is not a golf podcast, but we are going to raise our drinks tonight to golf, to the Florida Swing, to the bros, okay, the guys. Yes, there are women out there that golf, but golf is a bro hang, and you know how much I'm for the guys. So let's go ahead and cheers to golf and cheers to NASCAR. I know that was super lame, but I didn't know what else to bring up. So I'll have a better one next week. I'll make that my homework, and I will work harder on a better toast. Okay. Well, as you can see, I'm not repping a Hendrick Motorsports driver this week. We got the new Ryan Blaney shirt. It's a bit large, okay? Actually, it's a 2X, which is a bit large on me. I think that's a good thing, though. This is usually my size that I go for. My wife has tried to talk me out of 2Xs, and she's going to hate to see this one on me. This is like a sleep shirt, so might be the one time that I wear this shirt. But we rocking it because Blaney is he's a honorary Hendrick driver. He's not actually a driver for Hendrick Motorsports. He doesn't even drive for the same manufacturer, but we love the guy. He's best buds with Chase Elliott, and then last year at Daytona, summer race, the cutoff race right before the playoffs began, Blaney won the race, which was an assist getting Bowman into the playoffs. So he's honorary until he does something and messes it up. And this past week, he won Phoenix. So Tyler Reddick's run, his streak has come to an end. Unfortunately, he is not going to win all 36 races this season. He's now on pace to win 27. He's on pace to win 27 races still. Highly doubt that's going to happen. But that streak came to an end because of Ryan Blaney. And, I mean, a few other drivers beat Reddick too. So Reddick was not nearly as good this week as he has been to start the season, but sure was a fun run to watch for Tyler Reddick and that 23-11 team. I wouldn't be surprised if they hop back on it this week or if they just have one of those breakout seasons where maybe we see him rattle off 8, 9, 10 wins maybe. He's certainly capable of doing so. And like every other NASCAR podcast has said, he's off to a good enough start where it's a kind of a historical start. Certainly winning close to double-digit races this year is within reach for that team, and they have no reason to slow down. Everyone wants to be that number one seed for the playoffs, so they are going to stay at it, and they're going to collect as many points as they can. In fact, I remember Reddick after this past week's race. He didn't win, but he did say that he came away with scoring like the fourth most amount of points out of everybody on Sunday. So that's a great points day, and they keep doing that going forward. That's going to be a tough team to beat back in, October or November when we get there finally this year. They're poised to be the favorites right now, obviously. They're number one in the power rankings for a justified reason. But anyway, like I said, we saw Blaney win the race. He actually outran Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell looked to be the best car on Sunday. He dominated Phoenix, which he has done before. But he led, 160, 170 something laps in this race. Just a crazy good car for Christopher Bell. And Blaney, maybe he would have had something to say about that domination. Maybe he could have led a great amount of laps if he didn't have the two fallbacks, the two dropbacks that put him behind the 8-ball. Because even then, he was able to drive his way through the field. And I think that they were clearly the two best drivers on Sunday. Obviously, Bell might have been just a little better. He was out front, got the clean air, handled his stuff, took care of everybody else in the field. Blaney just had some mishaps that made him have to go through traffic and go through the field. So you can make a case for either one of them having the best car on Sunday, but it's ultimately Blaney that wins it in the end. Great call at the end by his team. And so this goes down as Blaney's 17th or 18th career win. I'm not quite sure what the exact number is. I actually found both of those numbers, so not sure what to believe there. But I do know that his next win will crack him into the top 50 all time in the Cup Series. So that's pretty cool. He's a former champion. The guy's got a long career ahead of him, and he's kind of at his peak right now. Over the past 2 or 3 years, he's been the flagship car for Ford. He's been the best driver at Penske, and he continues to show the best speed every week. And boy, that's a team to be reckoned with as well. If they finish top 3 in the points, Blaney in that 12 car can be very tough to beat. But Phoenix once again goes to Penske Racing, and yes, it wasn't dominated all day on Sunday by Penske, but Blaney comes away with the win. Logano had the pole. Then you look at the IndyCar stuff. Newgarden won, and I think they also were on the pole. I'm not sure if it was Newgarden or another Penske driver, but, the sweep happened. The Penske sweep at Phoenix happened where they won both poles. It's not even late, and I'm talking. I lost my train of thought there. We're just going to get it together, Koz. Come on. Get with it. I didn't even tell you what I'm drinking. Tonight I toasted with a water. I have ice water in here. It's 6:40. So I'm not trying to have anything on a Wednesday night right now. Just trying to have some water, and I still can't talk. Crazy. But yeah, Penske swept both poles, then they won both races. And we have seen that on the NASCAR side. They have handled business at Phoenix because it's been the finale race. And so unfortunately, they're still on top when it comes to Phoenix Raceway. And we're going to revisit that track later this year. They're in good shape, and I think Toyota's in good shape, which we will talk about in a moment. But I don't think Chevy and specifically Hendrick Motorsports are in good shape right now. Through 4 races, Chevy's struggling. Hendrick Motorsports is struggling, okay? No wins for the manufacturer. And yeah, we're only 4 races in. I know that's a small sample size. And, only 2 drivers have won this season. But I'm not seeing it so far. And I don't know what to chalk that up to. Some people are saying maybe it's the new body of the car that could be putting them behind just a little bit. And eventually they're going to get caught up. I do have the utmost confidence that Chevrolet is going to get caught up to the rest of the field, and specifically that Hendrick Motorsports will catch up to the rest of the field. But I also know that we're going to learn a lot this week when we get to Vegas. Vegas is a speed track. I don't know. It's not as technical as many other tracks. Yes, there's some to it, but pure speed, pure horsepower is what you got to bring to Las Vegas. So we're really going to find out a lot about Chevy. We've had two super speedways, we've had a road course, and then we had Phoenix. Phoenix is kind of that in between intermediate and speedway. I don't think it's a short track. It doesn't race like one. I mean, frickin' IndyCar was on Phoenix. They don't do short tracks, okay? So I don't think it's a short track. But it's got the dog leg. It's a unique track. It's a fun track. And I mean, right now, Chevy's behind a little bit. So after those 4 races, but we get to one of these normal, regular, this is a NASCAR track, Las Vegas. I think we're going to find out a lot, and we'll see how we run. Told you I'd come back to Toyota because I think that they're off to a great start all around. Yeah, they won the 3 races with Reddick, but if you look past that, I think all of their other cars and drivers have been pretty good this year. We've seen solid speed from most of the Toyota manufacturer, and especially because they're represented heavily by Joe Gibbs Racing in 2311, which I think the 6 cars within those 2 teams, sorry, 7. I mean, do we count Riley Herbst? Do we count Corey Heim when he's in there? Yeah, do we count Legacy Motor Club? No, we don't. We're talking about JGR and 2311's top 2 drivers pretty much. Those 6 cars have been very good to start this season. Very solid races. Even, Briscoe. He's the only one that doesn't have the results to show for it. Briscoe has had the speed too, though. When he's been out there, he's looked sharp. And, we've seen a turnaround from Ty Gibbs. We've seen Bell dominate this race. Hamlin had a good race this past week, was never really a contender to win, but got the top 5 finish. And the previous week, he got it felt like his first career top 10 on a road course. I know that stat can't be real, so we're going to bypass that one. But it felt like a win last week when he finished 10th at Coda. And so, Bubba, he's up there in the point standings. It's just that they're off to a great start. Toyota, I think, has impressed me the most. I was kind of expecting it to be Ford at this point, but Toyota's holding it down right now. And so far, they're looking like kings. I don't know what the manufacturer points look like. That's not something I ever really look at. But seems like they're ahead of everybody right now. Then there's Fords, then there's Chevys. And that's how I see things. But I got 2 more takeaways from race weekend at Phoenix. So first of all, tire wear was awesome. Loved watching this race because of the tire issues that these guys were having. Guys were they were pushing the issue. They were pushing the edge all day long. We saw it, excuse me, just had dinner. We saw it in practice that tires were not going to be fun. Well, I mean, for the viewer, it's fun. For the guys driving the car and for the teams, not a whole lot of fun because it can ruin your day just like that. That's what happened to Briscoe, right? So, it's points racing. So there's no settling. These guys have to drive hard. They can't take laps off. They can't take a stage off. These guys have to go get their points. And they're gold. Points are gold. That's just what it is now. And I love it. And I think most of the fan base loves it too. And we don't have to worry about guys already being locked in with a win and then just, okay, let's save our stuff. Let's protect the car. Man, we want to see these guys go 100%. And we saw that this past week. And because of the tires not being able to save them, some guys bit the dust a little bit. This is also, I think, the first race that horsepower was increased for, which I don't know if that made a difference. Denny Hamlin said he could feel a difference. We don't count Bowman Gray. He said Bowman Gray was noticeable. There's more horsepower there. But Phoenix was the first points race that there's been more horsepower. And Denny Hamlin said on his podcast this past week that you can tell the difference. So I guess we'll tell over time if that's helping with the racing action. But certainly I thought the tires helped out. I'm pretty sure that this past race at Phoenix tied the record for most cautions in a Phoenix race. So I believe it was like around 12 or 13 cautions that we had. And a lot of that was due to tire wear. And you could see those last few runs, guys were pushing it. Several guys blown tires and kept it off the wall and were able to get to pit road. And eventually there was just too many. Not every one of them could save it. And so I really enjoy that aspect of it. Hope they keep that going, especially for the fall race. Don't change a thing, please. Okay. Goodyear has provided us exactly what we want to see as fans. I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you have too. Because, I mean, Phoenix has been a dud lately. And we can't say that this past weekend. I thought it was a very interesting and compelling race, fun to watch. And I mean, yes, I could go down the street and I could watch, I don't know. I mean, I watch anything race against each other and have fun. The casuals can't. And I really felt like if casuals have been keeping up ever since Daytona, I really think NASCAR has been giving 4 solid weekends of racing from every series, top to bottom. I think the stories have been great. The points are helping with that too. I think it has been a great month to start this 2026 NASCAR season. And yeah, I hope we keep it going. Vegas could be one of those races that might be a dud. Who knows? You're going to get some of those every now and then. Right now, it feels like Tyler Reddick's on. He's on top of a mountain, and it feels like NASCAR's on top of a mountain right now. I mean, they both have had tremendous starts to the season. And yeah, NASCAR found its fastball. And I don't think they're done. I don't think that this year is going to be the finished product of what we want to see long term. But boy, we're headed in the right direction. And that's something to be excited about. I'm very excited about. Lastly, I loved having IndyCar share the weekend with NASCAR. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I thought it was really cool. I had a ton of FOMO not being there. Really wish I would have dished out some money to get there. And that wouldn't have been possible. I had graduation this past week, so that was never in the cards. But the next time they do a shared collaboration weekend, I don't want to miss that. That would have been really cool to have seen both styles of racing on the same track. Different styles of racing, different drivers, and the star power. Just these are two premier racing series having the same weekend at the same track. Really neat. It's not like the previous weekend in St. Pete when it was IndyCar and trucks. This was IndyCar with all of NASCAR, ARCA, trucks, O'Reilly, and Cup Series. So, man, if we can have another IndyCar and Cup Series weekend again, I would love that. I want to see more of these take place in the future. I don't know how realistic that is. You can't do it often. It really has to be very strategically chosen weekends. But if they can schedule one again for next season, maybe 2, I got to find my way to get there because that it looked like a fun weekend to just take in both series. So let's go ahead, and that's enough of the takeaways from Phoenix. Let's go ahead and look at how our Hendrick Motorsports drivers did. Okay, we got 5 of them, 4 in Cup. We got 1 in O'Reilly. Actually, we did have William Byron and O'Reilly, so I got 6 to go through. And I'm going to go team by team, driver by driver, and inform you how they did just in case you missed the race. So starting with our best finisher on Sunday, it was Kyle Larson. He started second, so really good qualifying position. Didn't get stage points to stage 1, but stage 2, he finished 9th, and then he finished the race 3rd. Never felt like Larson was going to win this race, and I think he was a fringe top 10 car. Really wasn't great, but found a way to finish 3rd. And he kind of did that the previous weekend at COTA when he found a way to finish 6th. So this, like I said, it's a Chevy thing. It's not a Larson thing. It's a Chevy thing right now. It's a Hendrick Motorsports thing. We don't look great, but Larson is getting the best results so far of anyone. Next up, we have William Byron, who started 9th, and then he finished 9th in stage 1. No stage points in stage 2, and then he finished 7th for the race. And again, this looked like one of those William Byron summer slump races. It's a little too early in the season to be having these. We want to see a turnaround from this team, but It's kind of like a whole manufacturer thing. I think once Chevy and Hendrick Motorsports can figure it out, Larson and Byron are going to be on top of their game. Now, next is where it goes downhill a little bit. Chase Elliott started 26. What the heck, brother? I made a bold prediction this season was going to be a few more poles for the 9 car. Whoo, we seem far from getting poles. And I know what you're thinking. It's a Chevy thing. It's a Hendrick Motorsports thing. Chase Elliott should not be qualifying 26th. Okay, even if the whole manufacturer's off by just a little bit, dude should be qualifying 10th or 12th ish. Okay, 26 is abysmal, and no stage points. Finished 23rd in the race. He was a non-factor, and that's tough to swallow. I'm not a Chase sexual, but I'm a Chase Elliott fan, and he doesn't look good. He didn't look good at Coda last week, and he ended up finishing 7th somehow. 20 streak was intact until Phoenix. Now the top 20 streak is over. Now the past 2 seasons, he's gone 20-some weeks of finishing top 20. This year, he only went 3 weeks. Now the streak has ended already. So even with the entire manufacturer struggling, Chase Elliott has got to do better. Alan Gustafson has got to prepare better cars. Yes, I know that they ended up with some damage. That might have hurt you a little bit, but it didn't hurt you this bad. So hopefully things will change going forward. Coming up to Vegas, not a strong track of theirs. But I'll be honest, they are in a good spot in the points right now, to even with these struggles. I think they're 4th in the points. We'll get to that in just a moment. But in the power rankings, I'm not sure he makes my top 10 right now. Just being honest. All right, next we have Anthony Alfredo. This is the last guy we're going to cover on the Cup Series side of things. Big ups to Anthony Alfredo for stepping in. So he does sim work for Hendrick Motorsports. He earned the ride. Okay, he knows this track. He knows our cars, and he knows the setup as well as anybody. He might know the setups better than some of the guys that are getting in the cars and driving on Sunday. Anthony Alfredo, not a big name. I was surprised that that's who they chose, but he earned the shot. He got the opportunity, and he did well. He started first. That wasn't well. And he didn't score any stage points, but we did see him make progress and get up through the field. I think he was around a top 10 car when he got collected in an accident, so he ended up finishing third. But like I said, I do think he showed glimpses and some good things happened to that car on Sunday. Remember, he's only been doing the sim work, hasn't really had a chance to lay down laps on a track in our cars. So to see him go out there and make progress throughout the race, that's encouraging, but unfortunately got caught up in another accident. And so that's racing. No other way to chalk that one up. All right, so Saturday we had 2 drivers that I want to mention. First of all, we had Corey Day. Now, he started 8th, and then he finished 7th in stage 1. No stage points in stage 2, and then he finished 9th. So this is his 3rd straight top 10 finish. And I didn't get to watch this race, but from what I hear is that he didn't have any run-ins like we've been discussing all season long with Corey Day. So this was a good showing. Phoenix, tough track, but he's in a rocket ship of a car. So to not go out there and make many more enemies and to bring home another top 10 finish, good day for Corey Day. And then William Byron wasn't in a Hendrick car, but he was in a JRM car. He started 6th, then he finished stage 1 and 5th. He finished stage 2 and 3rd, and he finished the race 13th. He got some late race damage. That hurt a solid day. I don't think he was going to win this race. He wasn't going to go contend with the top guys. It looked like Allgaier was going to be the guy to always win Phoenix. He'll always be the pick probably. And William Byron, I mean, you're stepping in there for one off. These cars are very different from the Cup cars. So, a guy of his stature, probably expecting to go contend, but you can understand why he didn't. So that just is what it is. All right, let's go over the current driver standings. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Chase Elliott is currently 4th in the standings. He's minus 97. Kyle Larson is 10th in the standings. He's minus 116 points. William Byron is 11th in the standings. He's minus 117 points. And then, of course, Alex Bowman. He's still 36th out of 36 full-time drivers, and he's minus 202 points right now. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for. We know he's going to miss this next race at Vegas, which will be 2 races that he will have missed. If he misses anything beyond that, season's lost. So, a chase berth seems very impossible right now. He cannot win his way in anymore. That would have been one of the advantages of missing time and still being in the old format, is that you can still come in and win your way into the playoffs. But that's not super rewarding, okay? The way it is right now is how we like it as fans. But as a Bowman fan, kind of sucks right now because it's unfortunate what happened to him. I don't think I mentioned it on the pod last week, but he was diagnosed with vertigo following the race at Coda. So he does need to take it easy. He does need to get back to normal and to full health before he returns to the race car. And we hope that that happens soon. Bowman, man, we're praying for you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and hope you get better very quickly. We want to see you in that race car. You have earned that ride. That is your car. That is your ride. And we want to see you go out there and try to win some races when you return, but make sure you get back to full health. So, at this point, it's going to be hard for him to get into the top 25 in points. You got to be top 16 just to make the playoffs. I don't even know if he can make top 25, as much a hole as he's going to be in. So, he would have to be lights out and spectacular, and he would have to deliver some William Byron, Kyle Larson types of races on a consistent basis just to even sniff a chance at a playoff berth or a chase berth. So, yeah, I hate it for him because it feels like a lost season, but got to get better, and we need you at full health, okay? Life is more important. So, we wish him well. Now, something I didn't do is jot down in my notes where Corey Day is at in the O'Reilly standing. So I'm going to look that up real quick on the NASCAR app. You can do this anytime you want, but I'm going to do it for you because that's our guy. All right, he didn't change. Nothing happened in the point standings. He's still 8th, and he is minus 66 to the leaders. He's in a good spot. He's 1 point behind Raja Caruth, who is 7th in the points right now. So I feel great about the start to Corey Day's season. Yes, he's had some run-ins that we're not super proud of, but he's also learning. He's learning on the fly. This is a discipline of racing he's not used to. And to see him 8th right now and holding steady so far, very encouraging. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, this kid might have it. And we're not going to declare that yet. We got a long ways to go. He's got to do this over a long stretch, but I'm liking where we're at right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our Las Vegas preview. I'm going to relax a little bit. That sun's not glaring in my eye anymore. So I think we good for me to sit back and relax and read my notes from my phone. Las Vegas coming up. Not crazy about this track, but I'm crazy about this city. Las Vegas was fun. I got to visit last year. Fun time. Good time. So I'm going to go through each of our 4 drivers that we have in this week's Cup race and just give you their history at Las Vegas. And this even includes like past next gen, okay? Even the old cars that we were running. This is all of our drivers' individual history at Las Vegas, so just lost it. There we go. All right, starting with Larson. He's got 19 starts here, and this is a very good track for him. He's got 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 14 top 10s, 819 laps led, and his average finish is 9th. Very strong track for Kyle Larson. Probably the best in the field at Las Vegas. Next up, we got Chase Elliott. Not a strong track. He's got 17 starts at Las Vegas. No wins. He's only got 3 top 5s. He's got 6 top 10s, and he's led 178 laps here. His average finish is 18.9, just barely in that top 20 threshold. Okay, William Byron has 16 starts at Las Vegas. That includes 1 win. He's got 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, He's led 337 laps here, and his average finish is 15th. And then Justin Allgaier. He actually has 2 starts in the Cup Series at Las Vegas. That goes back to 2014 and 2015 when he was running the number 51 car, and he finished 31st in both races. But I think what's more important to know is his O'Reilly history. His history at Las Vegas in the O'Reilly Series. I couldn't get a whole lot of data here, so I can only go back to 2023. So this is just the past 3 years for Allgaier in the what was Xfinity Series, now O'Reilly Series. He's got 6 starts with 1 win. He's got 4 top 5s and 4 top 10s. So if he finishes top 10, he's been finishing top 5. Now, he's led 193 laps here, and his average finish is 4.2. So this is a good track for him in the O'Reilly Series. We're going to see how it translates to the Cup Series in that 48 car. All right, let me get a swig of water, and then we'll start going over some betting odds and some predictions. All righty. That's good water, though. Now, the betting odds that I'm going to give you come from the Hard Rock betting app, and one of our Hendrick drivers is the favorite to win the race. So that's Kyle Larson, and he's plus 475. But the second best betting odds belong to Christopher Bell, and he's plus 650. All right. Now, the rest of our Hendrick drivers, William Byron, he is plus 800 to win this week. Chase Elliott is plus 1,500. And then I do not have Allgaier's odds yet to win the race. I'd imagine they're going to be kind of high. I want to just out of nowhere pick plus 5 or 6,000. But I think because he's in Hendrick equipment, that might go to 4,000. So I'd imagine plus 4 to 6,000 range for Justin Allgaier this week, but I do not know for sure. Before Bowman was pulled out of the race, they did have him on the app as plus 3,000. Okay, so I think Allgaier is just going to be a tad bit higher than that. But some notables I wanted to mention. Obviously, we need to bring up Tyler Reddick. He's coming off the hot streak and coming off his first loss of the season, if that's what you want to call it, but he is plus 800 to win. Ryan Blaney coming off a win at Phoenix is plus 850 to win this week. Ty Gibbs, I think he's had a pair of 4th place finishes the past 2 weeks, or at least a pair of top 5s. He's plus 3,000 to win this week. And then Josh Berry, the defending winner of this race, plus 4,000. And then, of course, in the O'Reilly Series, we'll have Corey Day. He's plus 3,000 to win this race on Saturday. And then we do have Larson running in the 88 car this week for JRM, but we don't have his odds up in the app yet either. So let's go ahead and make our predictions. I'm going to give you 3 picks this week. I'll give you a Hendrick pick, a non-Hendrick pick, and a long shot. So let's start with a Hendrick pick. I'm going to take the favorite to win the race, Kyle Larson. Just feel best about what he's doing. Not that I feel great. Okay, we already mentioned that earlier in the podcast. But if someone's going to win from our camp right now, or at least first, I think I feel best about Larson. And he's got a great history at this track. So this could be the week that he gets things back on track for Chevrolet and for Hendrick Motorsports. My non-Hendrick pick, not going to be super flashy here. I'm actually picking the guy that has the second best odds, Christopher Bell. And I don't usually like to do that. I like to go off the wall a little bit. But there's a reason he's got the second highest odds. So we need to start respecting that 20 car. He's coming off of, a 3rd place finish at Coda and then a 2nd place finish at Phoenix. If the trend continues, he's going to win this week. And sometimes I just feel like, yes, the trend helps, but also when you dominate a race like that, it stings. Obviously, it hurts a little bit this week for Christopher Bell to not have won that race at Phoenix, but they're doing something right, and he's just going to turn that hurt into fuel, and I could see them going out and having a really good day in Vegas. But my long shot pick, and this one's just a little funny feeling that I got, but I'll go Bubba Wallace. He's plus 22 to win. He has shown capability at several different tracks throughout his career to get really good finishes and win every now and then. If we just saw Josh Berry win last year, certainly Bubba Wallace is capable. Toyota's on a heater right now. Bubba's got a great spot in the standings. That car's going to have speed in it. So if Bubba goes out there and executes, there's a good chance he can win with those odds plus 2250. That is mighty enticing. So that would be my long shot pick this week. Bubba, feel pretty good about what they're doing to start this season off. All right. To wrap things up, I got 3 restaurant recommendations for you if you happen to be traveling to Vegas, since I was just there in June of last year. I feel like I know the whole city after the 4 days I spent there. But I will vouch for a couple places. So Hell's Kitchen, that's Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. A pretty cool place. Okay, very expensive, but I guarantee you can find a lot more expensive restaurants in the Vegas area. So go enjoy something, but I can vouch for Hell's Kitchen. Had a very good dish there. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it's called. I was hoping it would hit me by the time I got to this spot in the episode. But it's the dish, it's the entree that they're known for there. So really good. I'll recommend In-N-Out, which it's not only exclusive to Vegas. You can get this many places. We can't get it here in Central Florida, but In-N-Out, it's cheap. It's a lot of food. It's good. It's quick. I think we had that twice on our trip in those 4 days. And then another spot we had twice on our trip in the 4 days is called Oja Steakhouse. This is a hibachi restaurant, and it's not super upscale, but it's quick, easy to get into. We didn't have to make reservations. It is probably 40 to $50 for you to go have a meal there, but that's a big meal. It's a hibachi meal. Okay. You might not finish it all at the table. You get to take some with you back home or to the hotel. But we really enjoyed it. Like I said, we ended up there twice as well. Great hospitality. But if you're in town, go enjoy all the places that you just can't get anywhere else. There's a lot of great hidden gems in Las Vegas that I didn't get around to. So yeah, go try it all out. Enjoy the weekend. Wish I was there for a race weekend. That'd be awesome. We'll make that happen one day. But here's what the schedule looks like this week. Trucks are off. Okay. No truck series. We only got O'Reilly and Cup running. So O'Reilly, I did that unintentionally. I think that was my nervous stutter that caused me to do the O'Reilly. Oh, they race on Saturday at 5:30 on the CW. And then the Cup Series races on Sunday at 4 o'clock on FS1. That was fun. All right. That is our episode for today. Thank you again for tuning in and joining along. But guess what? You will be able to hear me somewhere else this week. So not only am I recording my episode today, but in a few minutes, I'm going to hop on and record an episode with the Checkered Chat. I will be co-hosting with Blake because our buddy Justin is in the middle of a move right now. And so Blake hit me up and asked me to co-host this week's episode with them. So we will be recording that tonight, and that will be released on Friday. And I look forward to y'all checking that one out. As you've heard me say a few times on this pod, those are 2 good buddies of mine that we connected last year because of our podcast. And they've just become boys. And we text throughout the week about NASCAR, not just during the race. And that's Blake's fault, by the way. We don't text anymore during the race. We wait until Blake gets caught up on the race, and then we can talk about it throughout the week. But really enjoy their podcasts and what they do. They do a great job of not only giving news from NASCAR, but also the way that they recap the races. Man, they have great opinions and they have great facts. So if you need a NASCAR podcast to listen to, that's one that I highly recommend. And so this week, I'll be on that with Blake, and I'll bring the Hendrick Motorsports perspective to the Checkered Chat. And like I said, go out there, listen to their pod, and give them a follow on social media. But that's all I got for you today. That's all I got for you this week. So enjoy it, whatever you do. We got some great golf to watch, and we got some great NASCAR to watch. And it's almost March Madness, so my favorite month of the year. And I'm glad you're hanging with me through it. So I'll see you next week, all right?